alright.
Okay, so you ready?
Alright, I play d4.
Okay, I'm gonna mute the mic now, so good luck.
Alright. And I've actually never seen that as a actually, I think I have. But I would
So this can
just
transpose into either
e4.
a modern... Yeah, so this is gonna be a modern or Pirk.
And then that. Defending my pawn.
G Knight is white. So I
Just
have it from
gonna
his side.
develop. Normally I'm not very familiar with this opening.
He's the American.
As far as that defense.
USA.
I guess it probably translated into something else. The modern defense is what Chesscube says.
Yeah, so Chesscube calls it the modern, which is technically correct. So.
On the stream for the Aronian game, they said something about not moving the pawn on F2 ever until like the end game on F2 or F7. As like a general rule. I'm not sure if that's something other people go by. I never heard that before that, but I guess I should ask Amazingoid about that. Let's see.
So now he can try c4, which would transpose to King's Indian.
I like to
Bishop E3
connect
okay
my
too.
knights as of recently, instead of playing them to like c3 and f3.
Okay, so e6 is not a good move. So knight d2 is fine. This is a normal setup. You go f4, yeah. 4 pawns. 4 pawns is also possible, Cormorant. I think he's trying to be a little more secure. Okay, so he's gonna go for like a double
I guess that's a less aggressive style. I don't know.
But it's very passive. Why is e6 bad? Well, because usually in this opening you want to try to play for e5 and try to establish an attack on the dark squares. So e6 is just, it's too passive. You're not controlling the center.
I'm not really sure where the best spot for my bishop is because of...
Yeah. So I'd probably play bishop
as opposed to like
here.
e2 or d3.
Yeah. I think d3 is better. c4, it can run into like d5 ideas. And then
or even
there's a tempo
c4.
there. But yeah, I think d3 is
we'll just
probably best.
Put them behind my pawns for now.
Yeah, so e6 also blocks the bishop.
Maybe leave...
obviously he was going to fianchetto it anyway, so...
e2 for my queen.
Yep, I agree, Cormoran. I agree. So actually white can try something like h4 here. And it looks a little brazen, but it's actually not that bad because black's setup is so passive that
probably just
something like h4 and h5 to break open the h-file is really not necessarily a bad idea. So
even if he attacks my center or something like that. Or maybe play c4. I don't know if that move is needed or just leave my pawns where they are for now. Guess I'll just get castled.
okay, so he castles. So he decided not to try to rip open the h-file. Just playing simple development, which is perfectly fine too. But he has to be wary that black can counterattack at some point.
See, this is a position where I know I'm way more developed than my opponent, but I'm not really sure what the best way to go about utilizing that is.
That's why I can
make a note of that real quick.
Yeah. My mic is muted for him, exactly. Yeah. I wouldn't want to give him an unfair advantage. But I want you guys to hear what he's thinking so that you can hear what the difference is between what he's thinking and what I'm thinking.
I think one of my weaker points is that when I have all my pieces developed, I guess I need to work on my mid game where what's making a plan.
Yeah, exactly. So now he's on d4 twice. White is defending d4 twice, but now the bishop and knight are both tied to that pawn.
I thought about playing...
So here, might try...
d5.
d5, maybe.
Attack his knight, but then he can just play.
You have to notice that the bishop on g7 attacks the pawn on b2. Yeah, c3 is possible.
He can take on b2, so that would be good.
Queenside expansion, yep.
So maybe c3 first. Or get my rook centralized, perhaps.
So yeah, so you can try rook e1.
Just force that knight to go
So
back.
c3 is fine.
I guess now he's defending that.
So now he always has to look at potentials of d5 and e5.
Just play a like a waiting move here.
Because d5
Kind
and
of see
e5
what he
both
does.
force pawn
Centralize
trades
my
if he
rooks.
wants it.
Connect them, move the queen.
Since you're forking like a pawn and a
It would
knight.
be the
So
best spot for the queen here.
like normally if you play d5 or e5, black would respond
Maybe on
d5 to e5
a4.
and e5 to d5, but since you're
Pin
attacking knight both
the
times, you
knight
can't.
and then attack it. Bishop b5. So a4 then b5. Is that maybe too ambitious? I'm not sure.
So rook e1 is fine. But okay, now the question is, now
I guess
he's
the queen
better
just
developed.
goes to
What now?
d7.
Black has a passive development, white has a very
That's not really a threat anymore.
centrally developed position. But really black has no weaknesses. So yeah, d5 is definitely possible if black doesn't castle.
Oh, I don't want to see what you're saying in the chat. Let me close that.
I'm not saying anything. Not that he can hear me, but nothing related to the games.
I think black is probably going to castle here.
Yeah, so black should castle here. I mean, castling queenside is more bizarre than castling kingside, so there's no reason
Where
he
do
would
I want
want to
my knights to be?
keep that option.
Um,
Yeah, it's good he's thinking about his knights, but there's no squares
not
for
really
them right now,
sure right now.
unfortunately. But he can make squares for them. Yeah, the stream chat, I know, but...
Okay, so he castled
Oh,
kingside.
yeah, that's true. Other people are
It's
talking
pretty
about the game.
standard.
That's a good point. I'm not personally, but yeah, other people are, so... No, you're right, Lyther. You're right.
I can't play that because then my bishop would be hanging
Mip.
if I played
Leave it to you to come up with the creative stories.
e5.
So you can play e5 here, you can play d5 here. You can also just simply
Maybe
develop the
I
queen.
should attack the king side. I have my pieces lined up.
Yep.
Towards there. Maybe some type of sack.
The problem is, like, he castled kingside, so he kind of took a kingside attack out of the equation. And also, black might try to play knight g4 to try to trade off that knight for that bishop. So, those are a couple of black's ideas. So maybe, like, simply h3 here.
So here, I'm not sure what I should be doing. I think I need to ask amazingoid about that.
Yeah, this is actually tough, because black has no weaknesses.
I need to develop some type of attack.
So you have to kind of create weaknesses. But
I feel like even though he's developed now, I still have more pieces.
But the fact that he's better developed
towards the
should
king
mean
side.
that he should be able to create a
Some type of king side
and
attack.
exploit it. So.
What's like a weak point? I think c7 is weak.
Not true, but it's impossible to get at.
So how do I attack c7 or
You
take
don't.
advantage of that?